Power 100, your power breakfast with Archie and Bretz. It's the big one today, Bretz. You and I are wearing our colours. I'm a dirty blue. You are a maroon. And I think it's time we speak to somebody who played Origin 36 times, captain in Queensland on 22 occasions. Darren Lockyer, welcome to the Power Breakfast. Good morning.
Morning, gentlemen. Oh, it's good to... Sounds like there's a bit of rivalry in the commentary box there.
Very, very tense in our studio. I wish you were here in person so we could at least have a 2-1 advantage.
I know. That would be far too intimidating. I'm glad this is on the phone, actually.
Darren, as Archie said there, mate, 36 appearances in Origin for yourself, a 1998 debut. The players today will, of course, be nervous. Something that I'm always so curious about with Origin is when you get in that camp, in the scheme of things, it's not that long that you're suddenly teammates with people you're used to playing against in the regular fixtures. I was just wondering, from your perspective, what goes into becoming a cohesive group so quickly? And is that something that happens fast, or is it even up until that last moment before you run onto the field that you actually feel like one Queensland team?
Well, I think it depends on the environment you're in. I guess if the team's been together for a long time, it's a lot easier. But if you've got new faces and new coaches, it might take a bit longer, but I know when it means so much to, I guess, both states to represent their states at this level. So they know what's at stake, and they have to come together for a common cause and do what they have to do for each other, but more importantly, what they have to do for their state. So I got no doubt Billy would have had the Queenslanders, really cohesive all week.
Darren, what do you make of all the mind game stuff? Now, one of your former teammates has come out, Ben Hannon. I'm reading that all the injuries, the sicknesses, all that doubt that gets put in the media. Is there any truth to all these rumours? Is it all just a bit of a sleight of hand to play those mentality games? Or what's your take on all this?
Oh, look, history shows you don't really remember what happens in the build-up. You remember what the scoreline is on the night. So I think there's a lot of twists and turns in an Origin series. There's no doubt about that. And there's a narrative going into each camp. There's a narrative that happens through the camps, and this one's no different. But at the end of the day, when they get there tonight out on the field, they'll just they'll play with everything they got.
Darren, this is hypothetically speaking, of course, just a random imagined scenario. If you were struggling with, I don't know, a toothache before an Origin game, do you reckon you'd still run out?
I'd just have a few Panadol, and get back out there. I'm sure Nathan, he's a good player and he's a tough player, so I'm sure he'll be there. And we need to make sure we're doing our job on him, because he's one player we need to stop.
Darren, have you had a chance to speak to Billy this week, and what kind of message is he getting out across the camp?
Oh, I think, the good thing with Billy is he's a great communicator, and he puts a lot of belief and confidence in his players. And I think, he's always saying, this is about playing for the people of Queensland. So, there's a lot at stake, but I think he understands, being from a player's background, what it means to play for Queensland. And now he's just reinforcing that message to the current squad. And I've got no doubt that the game plan between himself, Jonathan and Cameron will be one that can win the game. They just need to execute it now.
Darren, there's been a lot of talk about Queensland and whether we've ditched the pick and stick method, and the conversations around Hamiso and Reece Walsh coming into the side. Just wondering if you had any thoughts on the approach of selection this year.
I think it's probably a reflection of the depth we've got now. I think another Queensland team is going to help our depth, but I just think more and more Queenslanders playing across the NRL just allows Queensland to have more options, and I think that hasn't always been the case. So it's probably, yes, a little bit of the pick and stick mentality wasn't there for this selection, but I would say that in the past we haven't always had this many options.
And finally, mate, I guess it is Origin Day. You're not playing in this one, but I'm sure it'll be a day of memories for you of your Origin career. Anything stick out as a bit of a day of ritual that you used to do? Do you get superstitious?
I guess it's pretty similar now, but the guys that obviously get up, they'd have breakfast. Some guys get up really early, some guys get up late, they'll have breakfast. They'll go for a team walk around sort of 10:30, 11. We used to play cricket back in the day, but I don't think they do that anymore. It's a bit too bit too strenuous. And then they come back and they'll have a bit of lunch and a stretch. And a lot of the times, some guys will always sleep. Some guys will just go back, watch a movie, and if they go to sleep, they go to sleep. But then about sort of 5:30, get together in the team room, and that's when the coach addresses the team, and that's where they start to get pumped up, and then they get on the bus and really start to switch on, and then away you go. The fireworks come.
All right, Darren, without your bias, who's going to win it tonight?
It's always, the neutral ground games, it's just, you always, obviously, any team playing at home at Origin always has the advantage, but obviously, neutral ground, it's really hard to pick. But obviously, Queensland is where my heart is, and my head's saying that we can get the job done down there. Not by much, never is, but if we put a lot of pressure on Nathan Cleary tonight, I think we can get the job done.
It's going to be great.
Queensland by 2.
Queensland by 2. There it is from Darren Lockyer himself. Well, mate, thank you for talking to us. Thank you for taking us inside what it's like for those players on Origin Day. I sincerely hope you're right in that cricket doesn't get played anymore, because if I hear that Cam Munster's out because he took a bouncer from Cherry Evans, I'll be absolutely fuming.
Yeah. No, I agree. Kidman Cotton Wall kick off.
You can catch the game, of course, on 9 and 9 now tonight. Coverage starts from 7 o'clock. This man, you'll see him on the screens. Darren Lockyer, thank you so much for your time this morning. I want to say up the Blues, but I'm too scared of you, mate.
No worries, gents. Enjoy the game.